Those great remarks. I miss those jokes. And thank you for everything you did for the last 3 years for us. Really appreciate that. So good evening, everyone. Coach Torsani spoke to me a few months ago, and he told me he wanted me to speak on some of our core values here at DeSales and the standard of what it means to be a DeSales baseball player. But before I do that, he also asked me to touch on my personal journey here at DeSales and what it's meant for me to be a student and an athlete here. I'm a senior outfielder, as he said, from Reston, Virginia. I'm studying business, marketing, and data analytics, and I'm grateful for the opportunity Coach Nyman gave me 4 years ago to come to this school, to play the great game that I love. Being a student and an athlete at DeSales has given me structure. It's taught me quickly how to invest my time properly and who to surround myself with. I learned that surrounding myself with the right people was the right way to become successful. And through surrounding myself with so many great people that I'm looking around the room here tonight, and so many great mentors through the coaching staff and the faculty and all the people who support us here at DeSales, it's been very easy to learn what true success looks like. So, success to me means establishing a standard and living up to that standard every single day. Through wins and losses, progress, and relapse, true success means keeping the standard firm and raising the bar every day for ourselves. There's a standard specifically that we're holding ourselves to this year and this team, and it comes down to this. We are a process-oriented organization. Outcomes are a distraction to us, which takes away energy from our daily habits, discipline, and the fundamentals that it takes to create success. If this team's going to reach its full potential this year, we need to be hyper-focused on the process to get the outcome rather than the outcome itself. One of my favorite mentors, and Coach Torsani actually sent a form out at the beginning of the year asking who we would have dinner with, 2 people. And I chose Jesus Christ and Nick Saban. So, the great Nick Saban's one of my people I look up to, love seeing his videos, love hearing him talk. And he used to say to his teams that, and the media, that if you walk around our building in Alabama, you will see no signs that say win the SEC championship or win the national championship. But what you will see in their building is a sign that says be a champion, and a pyramid below it labeling what it takes to become a champion every single day. To become a champion, he says we need to do a few things, such as buying in on becoming team players. This comes from respecting and trusting the principles and the values of the organization. More importantly, trusting your teammates and holding them to a higher standard. Saban also famously stated that his best teams are player-led. They have numerous leaders, and in these teams, players own and lead the processes as if the coaches weren't even there. And more importantly, they hold each other accountable day in and day out. There are responsibilities and obligations that every player on this team has, not just to the coaching staff, but to each other. And if you want to be trusted on our team, you have to do your job and you have to do it well. Some guys will play significant time, and I've seen this. Some guys like myself in the first few years may not hardly play. Some will help us chart. There's a lot of jobs you have to do, but for the standard to be set for us, and the standard that I'm describing, it's crucial that each and every role is just as important as one another. We can't accomplish our full potential with any piece missing from the puzzle. The second part of the standard that I'm describing is that we have to be positive and optimistic people. How we approach tough situations and how we carry ourselves is one of the best ways to add value to the group. Bad body language and a bad attitude, I've seen through many years of playing baseball, is the number one way to derail the train from moving forward in the right direction. And more importantly, it brings everybody down. Having positive body language, on the other hand, brings energy and enthusiasm to the team, and it adds value to your role, and it affects others in a positive way. This year, we aren't going to put up with negative people. We've talked about it all fall. Negative people who judge others and judge what we do, whether that's the way we practice, the decisions the coaching staff makes, or why we do anything the way we do it, when we do it, where we do it. None of this will be tolerated because no one wants to hear that. We're going to have principles and values this year at the organization that we need everybody in this room to choose to buy into. When everyone buys in, it's going to help us become better. And when each individual buys in, it'll help them get better and become a champion as well. The third part of this standard is that everyone has to be disciplined and responsible for their own self-determination. This is one of my favorite lines that Nick Saban has to say. When we were having our own dog mentality sessions, which is something that was so greatly led by Coach Weaver up here in the front, we clearly defined a standard of excellence when it comes to being a great student, a great baseball player, and a great person off the field. So each of us committing ourselves to these standards in the 3 phases is what's going to help us make us successful as a unit. This starts with having great work ethic, great character, and having the self-determination to make decisions for ourselves that are going to create value for the team and for ourselves in the future. Taking pride in putting the team first and putting the better of the group before ourselves is what's going to carry us from a culture standpoint. At the end of the day, I'm brought back to our university motto of being who we are and being that well. Our university motto lays it out. It is all about buying into our role and doing it to the best of our ability every single day. Reaching our full potential is valuable. That's the kind of standard that we want here in this program, and it starts with taking care of what's in our control. In those same dog mentality sessions we did earlier in the year, we talked about the importance of controlling what you can control. In the dugout this year, we said we don't want to hear any talk of winning the game. For this team this year, all it is dominating the competition one pitch at a time for as many pitches as it's going to take. There's got to be no scoreboard and no external factors that dictate how we perform, how we compete, and how we show up. The standards should not be determined by external factors, including the competition that day, the weather, the field, the food you're getting afterwards. Success for us comes down to dominating that task each and every moment. And this is the standard we're going to set to help us become champions this year. Being the best version of ourselves and carrying out the standards is not just going to help us in baseball, but in life as we learn. Everybody has a vision for what we want to do, but few end up becoming it. Once we know the vision, we have to understand that it takes discipline. And it's so important to execute every day with discipline. Nick Saban also used to say that self-discipline comes down to two questions we have to ask ourselves. We make hundreds of decisions every single day, and they all boil down to two simple questions. Here's something that I need to do that I really don't want to do. Can I make myself do it? The second question comes down to situations where we have something that we really want to do, but we know we aren't supposed to do it. Can we keep ourselves from it? If we can make these two decisions properly every single day, we will always be on the path to accomplishing the goals that we set and living by the standards that we expect as a team. This comes down to editing our behaviors and not relying on our feelings to drive the ship. This is how we become champions. Now, I want to talk about one of our core values at the university. We have 5 core values here at DeSales. They are wisdom, humility, hospitality, gentleness, and gratitude. And tonight, I want to focus on humility. In my honest opinion, if we fall short of the standard that I've described in any way, at the bare minimum, I hope that we keep humility at the center of what we do. There have been many great coaches in the past, like Vince Lombardi, John Wooden, etc., who've all expressed how important humility is and put humility at the key foundation to the success of their teams and their teaching. This winter, I spent some time reading a book called Legacy by James Kerr, that Coach Weaver recommended. And wherever Coach Nyman is tonight, I just want to let you know it's only my second favorite book to include the word legacy in the title. But on a serious note, the book was all about the legendary rugby organization of the New Zealand All Blacks. I never heard of the All Blacks, but the All Blacks have the greatest winning percentage of any professional team ever. The core message of their philosophy in the book is that better people make better All Blacks. It's ingrained in their Polynesian culture to be humble. They often refer to themselves by the term Maori, which means normal or natural in relation to their God. I looked these guys up on YouTube, and the first thing I noticed after watching them play is that they are not normal. They're big, dominant, strong monsters performing the haka, scaring the living crap out of everybody they face. They could stiff arm, hurdle, juke, and body slam just about any other player they're up against. And yet, the core teaching they swear by in the book is to remain humble. The author pointed out that these Polynesian monsters understood simply that true strength comes from the spirit of humility and accepting that they don't have all the answers. They're so focused on continuous improvement and asking themselves the question over and over and over of what can I improve on? Another big question they ask themselves is, what does it mean to be an All Black? I want our players in the room to think back to the fall and ask themselves quietly, as I mentioned earlier, for the standards we set, what does it mean to be a dog? We defined it earlier in the year as someone who's disciplined, someone who has a great attitude, and somebody who has grit. The All Blacks understood the privilege they have to put on their jersey and represent their nation, just like we all have the privilege to play this beautiful game and represent our institution when we do it. We've outlasted more than 90% of our high school teammates when we were given the ability to play in college. And with this privilege that we earned comes a separate privilege to represent our school and leave our jerseys better than we found them. Leaving the jerseys better than we found them comes through becoming champions and setting our standard. Our standard of humility, of discipline, of character, of positivity, of self-determination to inspire the next generation of Bulldogs that are going to be sitting in these seats. This comes by us becoming champions every single day that we get together. Thank you all. God bless.
you.